Welcome back to the beautiful AIS Arena in Australia's capital city, Canberra, where we have the 2025 World Boccia Challenger event. And we are preparing now for the first round of pairs competition. My name is Catherine and I'm joined by Ken Halliday, who is very experienced in this. Welcome, Ken. You were last in action coaching this event at the Paralympic Games, I believe.
I was, yes, that's right. So I've had the privilege of being in 3 Paralympics as a coach at Paris, Tokyo and then Rio before that.
Someone was asking me, when did Boccia debut at the Paralympic Games? Do you know that? They thought 92.
I thought it was before that. I thought it was in the 80s. I might be wrong.
I was with the Paralympic athletics team and certainly remember Boccia players in 96 and Scott,
right.
who was one of our commentators. He was there in 96. But you think maybe even, I was in Seoul, but I can't remember this 88 Seoul Paralympics, whether there were Boccia players.
Yeah, I may be wrong, but I have an idea that it was in the 80s.
Yeah, so 84 was an odd games. There was that split where the wheelchair athletes went to Stoke Mandeville and the CP athletes, I can't remember where they went. But even though the games were in Los Angeles, the USA refused to hold a Paralympic Games.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, they held a wheelchair, as in what was then the International Stoke Mandeville Wheelchair Sports Federation. But CP Sport and Amputee Sport and Vision Impaired Sport went somewhere else in 84.
Right, okay.
CP is under CP Ezra at that time. Anyway, how about we talk about what's on the court? Tell me to shut up. Who have we got playing here in this first round match?
Okay, so for New Zealand, just to clarify, in the pairs competition, you have mixed genders, so you have to have a male and a female on court. So for both teams, we have a male and a female. So for New Zealand, the male player, excuse me, sorry.
Quarter to 6 flat.
All right. I'm sorry. The male player is Max Weimer, and his ramp operator is his mother, Lara Weimer, and the female player is Georgia Cooper, and and it's a real family affair because her father is her ramp operator, Ross Cooper. And then for Australia, we have Jamison Leeson with her operator Jasmine Hayden, and Dan Michelle, and his operator is Ash Madden.
And as the athletes are warming up and getting ready to play, what is the role of the, of Jasmine and Lara and Ross? What are they allowed to do, and how do they assist the players?
So they once the game starts, for each end, once each end starts, they can't turn around to face the court, and they can't communicate with the athlete. It has to be one-way communication from the athlete to the ramp operator. And they build up a relationship, and they practice hours and hours with their communication. So as the ramp operator does understand everything that the athlete is telling them, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. And I know that Georgia Cooper for New Zealand is non-verbal, so all her instructions to her ramp operator, who knows her very well, obviously, because it's her father, that would have to be through either head movement or eye movement, or they would work out some form of communication. I did ramp assist for many years for athletes that were non-verbal, and you do work out a communication.
And this
system.
Is the warm-up that we're seeing now, isn't it?
Yeah, so in the pairs, as opposed to the individual competition, each team has their own warm-up 2 minutes. So in the call room, when they do the coin toss to see who goes red and who goes blue, the team that wins the toss chooses whether they go red or blue. The team that loses the toss chooses whether they have the first warm-up or the second warm-up. The advantage is to have the second warm-up because they can see where the first team is warming up, where they're placing their jack.
Ah, yes.
So sometimes it's better to lose the toss and choose to have the second warm-up rather than choosing what colour you want.
Yes, so for example, Australia's gone long here.
Yeah.
So if you were New Zealand, you might be thinking that that's what they're preparing to do with the jack.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's where they are going to play it in the game. They wouldn't be warming up long if they weren't going to play it in the game.
So there wouldn't be any advantage to warm up at one distance to trick your New Zealand competitors.
There's not really an advantage there.
And Dan and Jamison are a very experienced pair, BC3 pairs.
They are.
How long have they been playing together?
I should know the answer to that.
As their coach.
Yeah. Probably 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
Because Jam virtually came straight on the scene, like she's only been playing for 5 or 6 years, but she very quickly came up to the standard that was required to play international. Her first international event was a pairs event. She only played in the pairs. She didn't play in the individual competition. So that was her introduction to international competition. So Dan and Jam, they've been playing together. They make a great team. Their communication is A1.
Because it's not just about two players throwing the ball completely separately or rolling the ball. It is a real team strategy and team event.
So as opposed to the individuals, they only have 3 balls each. Because in any game of boccia, there can only be a maximum of 6 red balls and 6 blue balls, and the jack, obviously. So they have 3 balls each. They have to decide what 3 balls out of their set of 6 they want to use in the pairs competition, and they can only use 1 jack. So they decide whose jack they're going to use.
And you'd want to make sure you had the ball selection balanced and.
That's right.
And where you're going to, place the shot.
That's right.
To give the other player. Does it alternate, in this case, Australia, New Zealand, and in the same way as, and then whoever's holding the jack?
That's correct, yeah.
But do both Australian players, for example, if Australia's holding the jack, would both Australian players have a go, or only one?
Only one.
Only one.
So, same as in the individual, so the jack is played 4 times. There's 4 ends. So the player on the right-hand side, as we're looking at it, which will be Daniel in this game, he will play the first jack. Then Max will play the next jack, and then Jamison will play the next one, and then George will play the next one. The only change to that is if the jack is fouled, then it will go to the next person along the line. So each of them play the jack, and so whoever plays the jack has to play the first coloured ball. Okay,
so
their partner can't play the coloured ball. So, for instance, if Dan plays the jack, he has to play the first coloured ball.
And then it will be Max from New Zealand, the way they're lined up there, correct?
In the first end,
yes.
Once the first red ball is played, the referee will show blue paddle. Either player can play.
Okay.
From that time on, after the first ball is played after the jack, they have a captain. So one of the players is the captain, and they will decide who has the best shot. So in a pairs game, one player can be blocked and the other player can have an open jack. It's harder to block the jack in a pairs game because you've got them in 2 different positions.
But each player has 3 balls.
Yep.
Not one player can't play all 6, for example.
No, they have to play 3 balls.
So must be a lot of communication and thinking going on as they work their way through as the game.
Yeah, they do. And it's good we won't be able to hear it, but it's good to hear the communication between Dan and Jamison. And having been their coach for many years and sitting at the end of the court, you can quite often hear what they're saying. and they'll discuss it when it's their turn to go. They might have a little conversation about, now, if I play this, then I'll get you to play that, or have you got a better shot at the jack? How much of the jack can you see, and all this sort of thing. So communication is a big thing in the pairs competition.
So for the New Zealand players, where you mentioned Georgia is non-verbal, her ramp assistant isn't allowed to communicate. No. So they will, Max and Georgia will have worked out a way of communicating that works for them.
That's right, yeah. And if one player is verbal, they can just ask a series of questions, and then Georgia hopefully can nod or give some sort of indication as to, if he asks yes/no questions, Georgia should be able to indicate yes or no as to what, if he says, can you see the jack, she should be able to give some sort of indication as to whether she can see it or not. I did actually coach an Australian team many years ago with 2 non-verbal players in the pairs team, and that was a bit of a challenge, but we worked out a form of communication between the 2 of them, and it worked quite well.
So we're getting close to it.
Let's go.
So we know Dan will be first.
Yep. So you can see there that both players have to break the plane of the ramp, even though Jam's not playing a ball. When the referee hands the jack to the first Australian player, both of them have to break the plane of the ramp simultaneously. Have to do it at the same time, so the referee can watch and make sure that they've both done it.
And it's in the place where exactly where they warmed up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just over 9 metres, approaching 9.5 metres, which is a very long jack.
They would have deliberately chosen to do that, knowing their strengths and the other team.
And if ever you go to play a long jack, you need to do it on a really flat floor, and this is probably the best floor that you can do it on.
Yeah, we're very fortunate for all the support from the Australian Sports Commission and Australian Institute of Sport.
There we go. There you go. That's not a perfect jack. It's landed just on the right-hand side of the jack. Still very close, though, at that length. It's still a good first ball. So now New Zealand will decide who's going to take the shot.
And we can see them communicating there.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've worked out a form of communication. I'm not sure who's the captain. They do wear a captain's armband, or sometimes it can be placed on their wheelchair if they can't put it on their arm, but I can't quite see who is the captain for New Zealand. Oh, yeah, I can now. Georgia is the captain. She's got it on her leg, which is a little bit unusual, but so long as it's visible to the referee.
Ah, I see, yes, the white band.
Yeah, the black and white band, which is...
her knee.
I think Dan is always the captain for Australia, and he has it on his wheelchair.
And when we see the ramp in that position, that's a sighting mechanism, isn't it?
So each individual BC3 player, decides the best and most effective way of them lining up the ramp. So you can see that George is lining up her ramp. She's actually not taking the shot, but the communication could be here that Max is going to knock the red ball out, and he wants Georgia to get ready to place. Yeah, that's missed, unfortunately, gone over the back.
But that's what he was trying to do, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of pace on it, though. I think he may have just been trying to get on the jack, because the jack is open, so he could just get on the jack.
Now, again, either Georgia or Max can play here, can't they?
Yeah, once the blue paddle is shown, either player can play. And the idea is try not to let one player play all their balls and leave the other player with 3 balls, because as the end progresses, that player with the 3 balls could be blocked. Sometimes you have to do it, but it's a good tactic not to do that. It's best if they both have balls left towards the end of the end. So George is going to take the next shot.
And she uses the head device, doesn't she?
Yeah.
That they can use both, can't they, if they want to?
Yeah, some of the international players will go on court with multiple pointers. Head pointers, mouth pointers, or whatever. They all have to be checked in the equipment check before the competition starts. So that's got good length on it, and that's a great shot. Well done, Georgia. That's a terrific shot. We might have a replay of that, because to get it on the jack like that at that length, and they wouldn't have practiced that in the warm-up either, so she's done a great job there. There you go, yeah. Perfect. Probably just a little bit hard because it pushed the jack back a bit, but at that length, that's a great shot.
And it's all in how they set up the ramp, isn't it? The speed of the ball as well as the softness of the ball.
Yeah, so this is where calibration, I talk a lot about calibration, that's what they need to do. So they need to know where to put each ball, which can be slightly different. Some are soft, some are hard. They need to know where to put it on the ramp.
And are they allowed to have a list with them?
Yeah, they are, calibration sheet.
Is that what Jamison has potentially?
Yeah, they all would have a calibration sheet. So I can't see one for Georgia, but so Dan's going to knock that blue ball out, and he has hit it and pushed it to the side, so that's a good shot. So this is where they need to decide, so the referee will show that it's red to go again, and Dan will decide in communication with Jam who is going to go next. So because Dan has played 2 balls, preferably Jamison will go next. Dan wouldn't want to use his last ball now, this early in the end. So Jamison, it's not going to be easy, because she hasn't got a lot of space to go alongside that red and blue ball to get on the jack. But that will be what she's endeavouring to do.
A little slower. She didn't put the ball at the top.
Yeah, she's come down a bit. She didn't want it to go too hard, but she's actually overcompensated. It's actually pulled up a bit short. Now it looks like Jamison's going to go again, and I would say I don't know whether she'll whether she's got a shot to go between those 2 red balls, or whether she's going to knock her red ball up and promote it onto the jack. Yeah, no, she hasn't got the right angle for that, because if she pushes that short red ball up, it's not going to go onto the jack. It's going to go past the jack on the right-hand side as we're looking at it. And
could Dan talk to her at this point?
Yeah, they can talk. That's once their time starts, they're allowed to communicate the whole time until their time stops. Once their time stops and the New Zealand time starts, they can't communicate at that point.
So similar sort of height with the ball?
Yeah, this will be a slightly harder ball. And she's gone for that. Oh, yeah, great shot.
She nailed it.
To go between those 2 red balls, that was a great shot. We might get a replay on that if we can. That was an excellent shot.
Jam obviously, was very alert to what was happening with that previous shot.
Yeah.
And has compensated and changed her work to nail that.
Yeah, we didn't actually. We saw where it landed. That's the main thing, that it's landed on the jack, which was the point of it.
So New Zealand to play now with the blue.
Yeah, and they have 4 balls remaining, whereas Australia only have 2 balls remaining. So New Zealand are in a good position. They'll just need to hit that red ball and try and get separation. So Georgia's got the best shot of being able to do that. And obviously her line-up is very good, because she nailed that for her first blue ball.
So she's going to give it as high as...
Yeah, it'll be her hardest ball, and she'll have as much power as yet. That's what it is.
Wow,
and
that's a powerful ball.
Hit the front red ball. I don't know whether that was her intention or not. That could have been the intention, because that front red ball could have been blocking Max. and he may have asked her to get rid of that. So it's still blue to go, and it looks like Georgia is going to use her last ball.
There are rules, obviously, about how long and those ramps can be.
Yeah.
There's a maximum height, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, so they test that in the equipment check before the competition starts, and what they do is, so you can see the box that they're in, which is 2.5 metres long by 1 metre wide. They have to put all the extensions on the ramp and lay it down in the box, and it has to fit into the box, laid down.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So again, it's going to be a powerful shot.
Yep, she's still going to knock that red ball out. Unfortunately, she's missed that one.
That removes a potential scoring shot, though, for the opposition, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. So now Georgia is out of balls, so it will be Max to have the final 2 balls in this end for New Zealand. He has just over 2 minutes to play those 2 balls, which is plenty of time. So in the pairs as well, as we all know, the game is timed. In the individual BC3, they have 6 minutes to play all their balls. In the pairs BC3, they have 7 minutes to play all their balls. So they have an extra minute, which allows for communication. And
they still certainly have to keep moving, though. It's not a generous time at all.
No, it's not, no. It does take a lot of time lining the ramp up and then deciding where the ball needs to go, getting the ball, putting it on, and then even pushing the ball off. Some of the athletes have a bit of trouble pushing the ball off. So that's going to pull up very short, Max. I think you've underestimated the length that jack is. I think his intention was just to go in behind that red to block it up. So red can't get any more points. He may have even intended to go in behind his blue ball to block it up. Oh, yeah, didn't have a real good shot at the blue. So just to get one up there near the head would be the intention at this stage to reduce the scoring circle, so Australia can't get multiple points in this end.
And this is the first end of the first BC3 pairs round 1 competition. Plenty of boccia to come.
Maybe he has soft balls and they don't get to that length, in which case he's just putting them down, blocking short, which is not a bad tactic, but being able to move around the box as the athletes at this level do very well, you should be able to move the ramp to get past those blocking balls.
He certainly didn't put his ball as high.
Yeah, that must have been his tactic, was to block short.
So Australia has 2 balls remaining.
So it looks as if Dan is going to take this shot. The intention here would be to try and move that blue ball that's closest to the jack.
How would they do that? Would he be aiming to hit the red ball and push the blue out of the way?
Looks like there's a little gap between the 2 red balls onto the blue.
Ah, yes.
So he could be, if he can do that, it won't matter if he moves the red balls away from the jack a bit. If he can knock that blue ball over the back line, it's going to be a huge scoring circle. So I'm pretty sure that's what he'd be going for. So Ash is adjusting the head pointer to exactly the right length, so as Dan's able to push the ball off once she places it on there.
It's very high, isn't it?
Just to get the maximum power. He managed to do it. Oh no, okay, so that was the other option. He's hit that red ball to move the jack back away from the blue ball, which has opened up the scoring circle as well. So he mustn't have had a clear shot at the blue ball.
Is it Jamieson with one to go now?
Yeah, it is, yeah. She's the only one that, has got a ball left. So I thought they might have asked what the score is, because I can't tell from here whether it's two red or not, in which case that's a decision they would need to know, because if that second red is not holding, they might want to knock that up. That may be what Jam's going to do. Yeah, she did perfectly. Yeah, well done.
We maybe see a replay on that one.
Yeah. Perfect weight to push that red ball up and get her ball that she used to stay there. That's a great shot.
So she got two scoring shots effectively out of that, didn't she?
Yeah. I don't know whether that other red was already scoring, but it looks like that was her only option anyway, was to push that red ball back and get her ball to stay there, which is a great shot.
Yeah, it rolls up and pushes up the red.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the first end. We still have a minute, do we?
Yep. Yeah, only a minute, minute between ends.
And the score at 3 for Australia and 0 at this point for New Zealand. 3 ends remain. Plenty of balls to roll down. New Zealand will set the jack this time.
That's right.
And it's a choice of which New Zealander?
No.
No?
It has to be Max. It works along the boxes from the right to the left as we look at it. And then he has to play the jack, and then he has to play the first ball. From that point on, either player can play the ball.
And the coaches retreat quickly.
Yep, have to be off the court before that 1 minute's up, or otherwise it's a yellow card.
And the ramp assistants now have to get their backs turned, don't they?
That's right. From this, once the referee hands the jack to the player, from that point on, yeah, they can't turn around or communicate. You do get sick of looking at the wall at the back.
And those are funny, tiny little seats too, to have to squat down.
Yeah, well, back in my day, everybody used little seats like that, but as the game's developed, a lot of the international players aren't using seats now because it's just something extra. You've got to move around the box, and because they move around, move the ramp from one side of the box to the other, you've got to be moving the seat as well. So you'll notice that both Ash and Jazz don't have a seat. They prefer to just squat down or just stand. So New Zealand's played a short jack.
More traditional jack, right in front of Jamieson though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And some people could say, they're playing into her hands, but not necessarily, because when the ball is directly in front of you, it's hard then for Jazz, the ramp operator, to move around. If Jam wants to have the ramp right in the middle of the box, there's nowhere for Jazz to go. She's got to squeeze onto one side of it. And it's not on an angle, it's straight. Yeah, that's a great first ball. Well done, Max. That's good. But as you can see here, that could be blocking Jam very well, but it's not blocking Dan, and this is the thing that you have in pairs with the different angles.
And again, something I learned about these ramps is they're not touching at the bottom. They're not touching the floor.
They can while they're in the box. Okay, while they're in their own box, they can be touching the floor. But as soon as they go outside the box, like you can see there, that
Dan's out of the box.
Yeah, but as Ash lined it up, she then just lifted the front of the ramp up and locked it in, so it's not touching the floor because it's not in her box, in their box. It is actually a law that I would like them to change in Boccia. That I don't see the difference between it being a millimetre off the floor and touching the floor. Yeah, not bad. So Dan just went for a knockout to hold there, to knock the blue ball away and get his red ball to hold, and that's what he's done.
You sound like a coach. Not bad. I thought it was quite good.
Sorry, yeah. The coach is always there in me, I guess.
Yeah, you're always looking for that perfection, which is good. That's what we want in our coaches.
Yeah, at this level, I mean, Australia are number 2 in the world in the pairs. They have been number 1. So, yeah, they need to make sure it's pinpoint accuracy at this level.
So New Zealand to play now?
Yep.
And either player, they decide?
That's right, yeah. So I'd say Max is going to go because he will be able to see some of the jack, whereas George is pretty much blocked by the red ball. And I know that Dan and Jam, with their tactics, they will sometimes do that. They will purposely block one player over the other, depending on what balls they've got left or what their ability is.
So when you're playing, you're also conscious of what balls your opposition have played.
That's it, yeah. Oh, nicely done, Max. Yeah, he's just gone for the draw and he's...
Max has, yes, nailed it.
That's a great shot. Well done.
If we have time for a replay.
Yeah, we should have, because it looks like Jam's going next, so it'll take her a while to reposition the ramp.
There's that beautiful ball from
Yeah,
Max Weimer from New Zealand in the second end of this BC3 pairs round 1 competition.
So it looks like Jamison is going for another knock. Oh, just pushing the red ball up, okay. Pushing it on, so they're going to play a tight game, a tight end.
New Zealand now. Georgia no, Georgia hasn't used any of the balls yet.
No, she's still got 3. So, yeah, they've decided that Max has the better shot. They're both lining up, so it's a bit hard to tell who's actually going. And this can happen, that they can both line up at the same time, because that's saving time. For, like if one of them has a shot and then the next one's going to have their shot, they're already lined up ready for it.
And you mentioned earlier they could be sort of having a coordinated shot, part A and part B.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do this and then I'll do that sort of thing. So, yeah, okay, so George has separated the balls. Yeah, so it's a measure. So at this point, both teams would be hoping that it's their turn to go next, because the jack's pretty much open. And it's New Zealand to go. So the red ball is still closer.
No, red's Australia.
Yeah, New Zealand to go.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so when you do the measure, the paddle shows which is the closer.
No, they show the paddles who's to go. So she measured then, the red ball was closer, so she showed the blue paddle to the players, so it's blue's turn to go. I wasn't watching the paddle then, she could have showed the wrong colour, but New Zealand are going anyway, so it has happened that referee will show the wrong colour, but they need to show so the timekeepers know what colour to start. So just a little bit short and a little just bounced off that red.
That had another centimetre. That could have come up between the ball.
Yeah. So now Max is out of balls. So.
And Australia has 4 balls remaining too.
Yeah. George has got the final 2 balls for New Zealand.
Quite a lot blocking her though, isn't there?
There is, yeah. So I'd say she'll probably just try to promote that blue ball that's that Max just played, that's sitting in front of the jack. Yeah, she hasn't got the best angle on it, but that's what she's got to do. Yeah, it's just caught it, just moved it in enough. So that's now holding.
So the aim of that shot she did then was to tap the blue ball as she went past and push the blue forward.
That's right, push it towards the jack. Probably hasn't pushed it as far as she would like. They would like it to be sitting on the jack, but pushed it far enough.
So it would be Australia now.
That's right. They're working out who's got the best shot here and what they're going to play. So it looks like Dan's going to go.
And he's out of his box at the moment. That's
Yeah,
allowed to look.
Yeah,
get out to look.
That's a rule change that happened some years ago. Way back when I was ramp operating, you weren't allowed to move out of your box at all, even in the preparation for the shot. But now you can move out of the box, but you have to be back in the box when you release the ball. So you can see Dan now manoeuvring his chair. He's gone sideways because that's the best angle he can get to push the ball off at the angle that the ramp is.
And it's very high, so will that be a more powerful shot?
Yeah. So he's going. He may be going to knock the jack back here to get it away from those balls that are blocking Jamieson. Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah.
And hit it.
So instead of trying to move balls away from the jack, so to make it open for Jamieson, he's decided to move the jack. So as Jam's now got a clear shot at it.
3 balls remaining for Australia and 1 for New Zealand.
So it's another measure for the referee to see who is the closest.
And you've said countless times, Ken, that it's so deceptive, the angle.
It is, yeah.
It seems so obvious to me which is closest now, but
it does.
Not when you stand above it in the referee's shoes.
And the referee's got to be very careful doing this, that she doesn't move the balls. There you go. So it looks like red is closer. I would have put my house on the fact that blue is closer.
Yeah, exactly. So would have I.
So Georgia, the jack is open for Georgia as well. That was the risk that Dan took by pushing that jack back. He was probably hoping that red would have been closer and Jamieson would have had to... Sorry, the blue would have been closer and Jamieson would have had the clear shot at the jack. But so I just noticed that George's head pointer, and she has a head pointer on the cap, it's just fallen into Jamison's box. That's okay at this point, but if that's still there when she plays the ball, that will be a penalty.
And what about her ramp operator? Her father has his foot in the other box.
Yeah, he has to get that. Move. Yeah, he has to get that in before he can do that up until the point that the ball is released. Yeah, you can't go into somebody else's box when you're lining up. So you see how Dan went right over into that other box. He can only do that because that's an empty box. He can't ask the New Zealand player to move so he can go into their box. You can't go into an opponent's box. Oh, that's pulled up rather short.
Yeah, she would have liked that to get much more right up onto the jack.
Yeah, that's what she would have been aiming to do. So now Australia has the end phase. So the end phase is once your opposition's played all their balls, you then have the remaining balls to play and get as many points as you can get.
And they've got quite a bit of time, for almost 4 minutes remaining.
Yep. So you can see the communication that's going on there. Dan's talking to Jamieson, telling him exactly what she wants her to do, what he wants her to do. So now Jam's giving feedback. Oh, I think they just turned the microphone up so you can hear the communication. Good job. Well done, Shane.
Will that red medium go in that space between the blues for you to push up? Because I can get the red, I can get the sticky up as well.
See, this is the great communication. That's great. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let us hear their communication. It's so good.
No, I've got the sticky up. Burning. 18.5.
Okay. So yeah, that was good. Thanks, Shane. Good to hear their communication. So I think Jamison might be going to move the jack again to push it back away from all those blues. Oh no. Promote the red ball.
Now,
No.
don't tell me that she deliberately did that sideways jump. Wow.
That's exactly what they would.
Sensational.
That was what all that communication was about, to work out whether she could actually do that, and because Dan knows exactly
Definitely
what
replay
Jamison.
stuff there.
Yeah. Dan knows exactly what Jamison is capable of, and I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that jumping over the ball and going towards the jack.
Yes.
That probably wasn't the plan, but the plan was to push the red ball back into the scoring zone. But they may have. I mean, yeah, they do work on getting balls to jump over other balls.
So the ball would be the blue ball would have been a softer ball.
That's right. Yeah.
So if they were strategically thinking that through, she would have remembered that it's a softer ball, or could she tell by looking at it?
Yeah, there she goes. She's promoted another ball.
Yeah.
So in the core room, they have a chance to inspect the other team's balls, and they will know when they do that. The other team have to say, okay, well, these 3 balls are George's balls, these 3 balls are Max's balls, and so Dan and Jam would be looking at those and identifying which are the soft ones, which are the hard ones. So as once you get out onto the court, they then can see, okay, I remember what that ball looked like in the core room. That's a soft ball, or that's a medium ball.
And the soft ball sits, it's harder to budge.
That's right, yeah. And they're good balls to hit and bounce over.
Like we saw just before.
Yeah.
So 1 shot remaining for the Australian team. I've lost track who's taking that shot. Dan.
Dan's got 1 ball left. So he should be able to just sneak in there.
Space.
He's going for the double extension again. So
in between these 2 blues, do you think?
Yeah.
But he's going for quite a hard shot.
He is. He's even got me baffled here. But he does that quite often. Oh, okay. His idea was to push that blue ball. That was the closest blue ball.
Yes.
To try and push that away to open the scoring circle. I don't think it worked as well as he would like it to have.
So the blue would have rolled more.
He was hoping it to go more to our left to open up the scoring circle. But that's what he does, thinking all the time. Like, normally you would just say, okay, I'll just draw my last ball in there to get another point, but he thought if you can push that blue ball away, that would bring that far red ball, the one on the right-hand side, into the scoring zone.
And so have they decided that just Jam will watch the measure?
Oh, Jam's the captain. Wow, there you go. That's a surprise to me.
So the captains are the
The
ones
captains
who
are only allowed to come out and check the measure. Yeah.
Well, that's what these challenges are about. These entry-level competitions are a chance to try some new things.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
build
interesting.
people's experience and knowledge.
Good on them. That's good experience for Jam.
On the road to Los Angeles and Brisbane.
Yeah, that's right.
The green and gold runway, as we say here in Australia. So we're halfway through this BC3 first round pairs match.
Just heard Dan say no, because that wasn't his intention. He's actually pushed that blue ball a little bit closer. So it's now only going to be 3 red, not 4.
So New Zealand certainly making Australia fight for every scoring point.
They are, yeah, they're playing well.
3 red. End of finish. 3 red.
3 red.
3 red. So the score goes to 6-0 at the halfway point.
1 minute.
That's it. Yeah, the coaches
are in.
Yeah, come on.
Ramp assistants collecting the balls.
Ramp assistant, sorry, the coach for Australia is collecting the balls.
Magnificent ball there. see in the replay.
Sorry?
The magnificent ball in that replay.
Oh, yeah.
Great number of people supporting us here in the AIS Indoor Arena in Canberra. I think Ricky Martin is playing in the outdoor arena.
Is that right?
We might get a bit more crowd noise in here, I think, Ken.
There you go.
Out cheer Ricky Martin.
No.
Coaches leaving.
Yeah, getting off the court before the 1 minute is up. So
And
now,
Ken,
sorry.
you talked about in a previous match when we were commentating together how you've now stepped back from leading the Australian team and being the coach of the Australian team.
Yep.
And you're now working closely with Luke. Just tell us a little bit about Luke's background and...
Yeah, well, Luke's come from an AFL background. He's been involved in coaching in the AFL for many years. And so being a coach, you know, it can be, there's a lot of the same tactics and strategies and things that you can use, you know, from different coaches. And the main thing is knowing how to support the players. And so he's brought that from his AFL background to Boccia, and he's doing a great job. Yeah, I retired from the head coach position for the Australian high performance team, although the jack has been retracted for some reason. That's interesting. Oh, so the referee is now calling over the assistant head referee to discuss what was going on. It may be that she didn't see Jamison break the plane of the ramp before she played the jack. It's only by all the equipment and the chair and everything is in, Jam's wheelchair and everything is in the box. That would be another reason why they would have retracted the jack. But interesting. So now the assistant head referee has gone to talk to the head referee to discuss the situation. So must be a little bit out of the ordinary.
And while we're waiting for that, just following up the discussion, for people who are listening out there, coaches are really important to support athletes to progress in boccia, but please don't be intimidated if you're watching this and haven't seen boccia before or don't know much about boccia, but you still have strong coaching skills. You certainly could transfer those skills and support your local boccia athletes.
Definitely, yeah. We're always looking for coaches to come into the boccia sport.
Here we go. Let's see what's happening.
This will be okay. So they get the jack back. So that was a misunderstanding by the referee.
Restart the clock, will they?
Yep, they will. I'll restart the clock and this end will start again. Gosh, I just saw a jack retracted on the next court to us as well. Don't know what's going on here.
Because it would then progress to New Zealand, wouldn't it, to roll the jack? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it would have been George's turn to roll the jack.
Break.
And then she would have played the jack in the last end as well. She would have got to play the jack twice.
10.7 jack.
So we'll do that again.
And from the height of that ramp, potentially going long, do you
Going
think?
long again, yeah. Yep, it's got to be another 9 metre. Yep, nearly. It's just pulled up a little bit short. Just short of 9 metres.
And well to the Dan side of the court.
Yep. So you'll find even in pairs, the red team will play to the right-hand side of the court as we're looking at it, and the blue team will play to the left-hand side of the court. It just makes it more difficult especially for the end players, the players in box 2 and box 5, to get the angles to go across court. So this is Jam's first ball. and that's pretty good. It's pulled up a little bit short. So I think what might have happened there is because that jack went a little bit shorter than it did in the first end, she sort of realised that and probably dropped it down a bit, allowing for it to go a bit short, but it's gone shorter than she expected it to.
New Zealand to play now in the third end. Score at 6-0 to Australia. Australia the red balls, New Zealand the blue.
That's lining up again, so I'm not quite sure who's going to take the shot.
I wasn't going to say anything. I thought, Ken will know.
Well, I can't really see if one or the other are blocked. That red ball looks like it's pretty much straight in front of Jamieson, which means it could be partially blocking both the players on either side of her. But they will have decided who's got the best shot at it. Looks like George is going for the double extension, so I would say she's got the best shot at moving that red ball away. What you don't want to do here is to hit that red ball and push it back to the jack. Okay.
George's father is her ramp assistant. Sets it up for her.
Oh, it's just...
Wasn't a bad shot.
I thought they were going for the knockout with the double extension, but that must be a very soft ball. It needs to double extension to get it to that length. It just hit that red, unfortunately, and stayed behind.
Which ball did the referee call closest?
The red, so it's
Red.
blue going again, New Zealand are going again. Again, I don't know who's going. They're both lining up. They're both putting the ramp down.
I think it's Georgia looking at her ramp assistant.
Yep. So she may try to promote that blue ball, push it back onto the jack. Yep, using her hard ball, and unfortunately she's missed it. I think that was the intention, to push the blue ball back onto the jack, but she's missed it, unfortunately.
So probably Max to go now that George has played two balls. Would that be?
I would think so, but...
It's not required though.
No. Either of them can play. As I said before, it's a good tactic though not for one player to use all their balls and leave the other with three balls, because towards the end, that player with three balls could be blocked, and the player that has got an open shot at the jack hasn't got any balls left. So yeah, Georgia is going again. They've decided that she's obviously got the best shot at pushing this blue ball up, and unfortunately she's missed it again.
And they're the sorts of shots that you would practice over and over and over again at home.
Yep. Okay, so blue to go again. So now it has to be Max because George has used all her balls. Looking at the angle, Georgia did have the best shot at being able to push it back onto the jack. Yeah, because if Max hits it, it goes straight back and will end up a long shot alongside the jack.
Max could potentially push that blue ball forward, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. With the angle that he's coming from though, it won't push it back onto the jack, it'll push it. No, he's decided to try and draw. Oh no, he did hit it. Didn't really hit it hard enough to push it back that far, but he is holding.
Oh yeah, I reckon. It's going to be a problem for me later.
So 4 of the New Zealand balls have been played. 5 balls remaining for Australia in the third end of this BC3 pairs first round competition.
It looks like Dan's going to take this shot. He may have a clear shot at the jack. Jamieson would be blocked by that red and blue ball, I would say.
We saw Dan providing very clear instructions to his ramp assistant, Ash, sorry. Ramp assistants train with their athletes, don't they, Ken?
Oh yeah, all the time. And that's the thing with the BC3 athletes. If they don't have a ramp operator, they've changed it to now. Catherine, sorry. They used to be called a ramp assistant for many years.
Ramp operator now.
Now it's a ramp operator. Yeah, it's taken me a long time to change because I was a ramp assistant for many years, and then they decided to call them ramp operators. So yeah, they train together all the time, and if they don't have a ramp operator, they can't train. Whereas the throwers, they just need somebody to be able to pick the ball up and give them back to them. Or some of the throwers can pick the balls up themselves and go back to the box and throw. But yeah, the BC3 players, that's why their ramp operator is so crucial in this game.
Now that wasn't the shot that Dan probably wanted to do you think?
He may have wanted to get rid of that blue ball out of the way. It was blocking Jamieson, so he may have decided to move it out of the way, so Jamieson's got a clear shot at the jack now. Jam maybe go to promote the red ball back onto the jack. No, she's just getting in there. Ooh. Just a little bit too hard. I don't know whether that was the intention to move the jack back. She's holding though. Got a replay on that shot. Yep. Yeah. That was her intention to get on the jack. She wasn't trying to promote that short red ball.
Looks like Max will be next for New Zealand.
Yep.
Max Weimer. He looks a young player too, fairly new.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing very well. Probably about 3 years he's been playing. So he's trying to draw. That was
good effort.
Really good weight on that ball. It would have landed right alongside the jack had it not have bumped into that red ball.
So red still holding.
Yep, so blue to play their last ball for this end. I would say he's going to try and promote that ball that he just played.
The ramp operator, Lara.
Well done, Catherine.
Stretching right up high.
Yeah, well done.
That was a
Great shot.
Yes.
Exactly what he
See
needed
that
to
one
do.
again.
Yep.
Score.
So Jamieson, being the captain of the Australian team, has asked for the score. The referee can't tell from just looking at it. She said she would need to measure, which would be using the Australian team's time if she measures now. So they decided not to worry about measuring.
That's why they decided not to measure. Australia has just under 3 minutes and 3 balls remaining. the third end, so triple threes.
The red's in the way. You've got a better option.
Yeah, so we just heard some of the communication there that Jamison said that the red's in her way. So Dan's got the better option of playing the ball from his box. So Ash places the ball gently and makes sure her feet are in the box before the ball is played.
Right.
Yeah, push the red ball on.
Take the one, yeah? Yeah. You don't need to. Yeah?
Maybe see that one
Finish.
again also.
Oh, they're going to throw off the last two balls.
And
It's too much for a
what does
risk.
that mean for those who haven't heard the term before?
Throw off. They can choose not to play their remaining balls if they feel there is a risk in losing the point that they're holding already, or it's a risk of promoting one of the blue balls to be closer than their red ball, and they would lose the point. So they decided to just take one and throw off the remaining two balls.
And the throw off relates to the you used to have to throw them onto the court, I'm told.
You used to, yeah. You couldn't actually not play them, yet you had to play them, and people would just play them to another part of the court, which was really, I think they decided that was a waste of time. So they allowed the players to elect not to play them.
So Australia are in a strong position now at 7-0. There's still 6 balls to play.
From
One
each.
more end.
Yep.
New
And some-
Zealand to have the jack this
That's right,
time.
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia will play the jack in this last end. And some people might say it's impossible for New Zealand to win at this point. It's very remote that they could win from here, but it's not impossible because there are penalties involved in this game. And if the Australian team, for instance, had an infringement, New Zealand would get a penalty ball after all the balls are played in this end. They play the penalty ball into that cross in the middle of the court, and if they do that successfully, they get a point. So it is possible to get 7 points in an end if they can get their 6 balls closer than the nearest opposition ball and then play a penalty ball into the penalty box.
So every ball matters in boccia.
Yep. And it's important that they don't give away a penalty, and this is why the ramp operators have got to be so careful and make sure that everything's in the box when at the time of releasing the ball.
Very short.
Yeah, New Zealand got a bit shorter than they did in the second end, so that's probably only about 2 metres out, and again pretty much straight in front of Jamison. So this is always the crucial ball in an end, is to get, if you can get that first ball on, which is touching the jack or very close to the jack and blocking the opposition, which, as I said before, is hard to do in pairs because you've got 2 players to block. That's pretty good. Probably if it had a rolled 1 ball length, that would have been pretty perfect, but just pulled up slightly short. So it looks like Dan's going to take this. He's moving right over to the right-hand side of his box as we look to get the maximum angle. Again, he's out of the box. So he can be out of the box to line up, out of his box, but he has to remain in the court. He has to have at least one wheel of his wheelchair in the actual court area.
And he's able to move into that spare box because he has a spare box.
That's
like
right.
Jamison, for example, can't move
No,
out
that's
of
right.
hers.
Yep, she can't move out of the box at all. Oh, she can move out of the back of the box so long as she keeps one wheel in the box, but she can't move either side, no.
Do they have a choice of, like,
Who
Dan?
goes in what box?
Yeah.
They work that out as to who's the best player to go in the end box and who's the best one in the middle box. Dan's just going to try and get, on the jack. Nicely done. I think he would have liked it to have been a little bit more in between the jack and the blue.
It's still blocking down a bit, isn't it?
Still a good shot. So now New Zealand will be communicating to see who's going to take the next shot.
Is Max wearing an eye cover?
Yeah, so I'm not sure of Max's condition, but some players are unable to close one eye to line up. So George has just elected to push that blue ball back onto the jack with her hard ball, but unfortunately it hasn't pushed it close enough. But red must be pretty much touching the jack for this blue to go again.
So that would be like closing one eye, potentially.
That's right, yeah. So if they're unable to close, it's very hard to line up with both eyes open. So if they're unable to close one eye, it's good to have glasses on and it has a patch over one eye. They actually need both eyes to judge the distance of the balls. So quite often there will be a patch that is removable, or sometimes it swings up out of the way, so they can use both eyes to judge the distance, and then when they're lining up. But it looks like Max's might be permanently on there, so he must be able to judge the distance by using one eye as well.
And we saw the metal part on the inside of the ramp come down.
Yep.
That metal part is what the ball sits on.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they call that, that's the ball holder. That can be adjusted up and down the ramp. So it looks like George is going to try and, she's elected to move the red ball away and leave her blue ball there, but it did move the jack slightly away from the blue ball. So I can't tell from this angle which is the closest. That's up to the referee to determine. Okay, so the blue ball is closer. She's moved the red ball away.
3 balls played for New Zealand, just 1 played so far for Australia. In the 4th end, score is 7-0, Australia leading New Zealand.
So Dan's taking the shot again.
One minute.
From where I'm sitting, I'd say he's going to try and remove that blue ball. He might even go for a knockout to hold, which is pushing the blue ball away and getting his red ball to stay there. Oh, didn't work. Just hit it on the wrong side.
So red to play again, red being Australia.
30 seconds.
It's a really hard shot to play that, but Dan does it very regularly, but that time he missed it.
We can see how the ramp operator is moving that ramp to the side by millimetres. Extreme precision.
It is a game of millimetres, because the position of that ramp, where it is in the box, will make a difference of centimetres when it gets out onto the court, the direction that the ball rolls. So Jamison's going to try and draw on here by the look of it. Yep, well done. Perfect. Good job.
So back to New Zealand with their 3 balls remaining. Red ball blocking quite well. Jamison's ball that we're seeing now in the replay.
1 minute penalty.
So Georgia and Max are communicating as deciding who's got the best shot here. Looks like Max is going to take the shot. He may just try and hit that red ball really hard that's on the jack to get separation and move the jack back.
So the end score. One blue. End finished. One blue.
Can't quite see what's happening here because the referee's standing right my way, but there we go. Oh, that's interesting. Just decided to draw up behind the red ball.
1 minute.
So they must be thinking about their for and against, which could come into calculation at the end of the pool matches.
So they want to reduce the number of points that Australia scores.
That's right, yeah. It's not a bad tactic, to protect your for and against and keep it as low as possible. Two balls to play, so yeah, once again Max has the last 3 balls to play. It's interesting, now he's going for a power shot. Okay.
Maybe wanted the white jack to roll forward because they've got blue on the far side.
I thought he would have done that with the last ball, hit the red to get separation and push the jack back.
1 minute.
Only 1 minute remaining for New Zealand for their last ball. Max Weimer to take the shot. This will be barring any penalties or anything, or this will be the last shot for New Zealand in this BC3 pairs opening round match.
Seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds to go. Oh, yep. I know you may have been trying to roll over then or promote that blue ball onto it.
Well, I can just go jack through the red anyway.
So now Dan and Jam will communicate
Right.
to see.
3 balls
You gotta
remaining.
The right one?
The right one, yeah, and then you can push the beat.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll do that.
Just hit the seat, like, just miss the blue, fine. Just miss the red. Fire one. Working with white.
Double top. Venus.
So Jam's asking Jazz, her ramp operator, to use the double extension, and I heard her say Venus, and I happen to know that that's the name of her hardest ball.
So she intends to smash things up a bit then.
Yep, I'd say she's got to smash that red to, just to move the jack back away from those blue balls to open up the scoring circle.
Can you get through the jack now or not?
No.
Okay, all good. See you later, second time.
So we heard that communication then. Dan asked Jam, can you get through there onto the jack? No, so he says, okay, I'll do it. It's great communication.
You go off the blue sticky?
Sorry.
Off blue sticky?
Yeah, I can do it. Keep on to right. We get knocked out a bit over. Yeah, right. Right, yeah. Right.
But I must add that Dan and Jam have been playing together for some years, and they they did have which I think would be a record-breaking streak of wins. They won 21 international games in a row, and that included 4 gold medals, including the World Championship gold medal. That was an unbelievable performance that they had going into, I think it was 1922-23, and as a result of that, they were awarded the AIS Team of the Year award in 1923. It's a huge achievement, and that wasn't just against other teams with a disability, it was against all sporting teams in Australia. I had the pleasure of flying down to Melbourne to receive the award.
Wonderful moment for Boccia, and I think Boccia won Program of the Year after the Paris Games.
Yeah, that's right.
Sports awards. Receiving great recognition for the sport of Boccia.
Yep. And I've got to say, these 2 players have done so much for Boccia in Australia.
So the ball, the jack moved a bit.
Yep, that was the idea, was to push the jack back further to, again, open up the scoring circle. So I can't really make out what the score is there. That blue ball could even be closer. It could be 1 blue at this point.
But because New Zealand have used all their balls, it's only Australia anyway. 1 ball remaining for Australia. 30 seconds to play. Last ball of this match.
Yeah, nicely done.
See that one again?
1 red.
1 red, yeah, so that blue ball was closer. So that was a great shot by Jamison, which we're about to see on the replay.
Final score 8 red. Match finish. Final score 8
Perfect.
red.
And so Australia takes out this match 8-0. Jamison, Leeson and Dan Michelle over Max Weimer and Georgia Cooper for New Zealand. Now that's the last match for the day, I think, that we're doing with the live stream.
Yep.
We will be coming back tomorrow. Quickly checking my...
I think there's a
So on Sunday,
pairs team.
we will be kicking off at 10:30 a.m. So 10:30 a.m. Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne time, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, and that will be a teams competition.
There you go. So that'll be interesting because the teams are a combination of the BC1 and BC2 athletes. They play together to form a team, and they have a team of 3. So they have 6 players on court at the one time, and because, as I said before, you can only have a maximum of 6 red balls and 6 blue balls, each athlete has 2 balls to play, and they must have a BC1 athlete on court at all times. So we look forward to that tomorrow.
Thank you very much for joining us here at the World Boccia Challenger in Canberra, Australia. Competition has finished for today, Saturday. We saw the finals of the individual competition earlier, and we're now into the pairs and teams competition. Look forward to joining you again tomorrow. Thank you very much to Ken for all your wisdom.
Thank you, Catherine. It's been enjoyable.
It has. Good night from Australia. See you tomorrow.